All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Demon Slayer, Season 1, Episode 3. Okay, Tanjiro is going to be trained by Urokodaki.
Indeed, indeed. And the sun is very, very bad for demons. Yeah.
So Nezuko is going to constantly have to be in the basket.
Yes, indeed.
In little caves. And
she must be protected.
Oh, we must protect her. Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Gyu, the Demon Slayer guy who helped out. He seems to be someone who has a little bit more kind of character than we gave him credit for. He's going to be a bigger part in the story moving forward. It's just kind of being saved for now. Right. Tanjiro is going to be trained up,
by this guy that has a personal connection to Gyu. So probably because of his previous experience.
Yes. Other than that, yeah.
Maybe we'll get introduced to the two boys in the ED this episode, since he's agreed to train them now. Maybe these will be other people that he's also training or something.
Possibly, yeah. That's a good point. I would very much like to see more development between the relationship dynamic of just the brother and sister.
Yes.
And just seeing how how this is affecting the both of them. And since Nezuko has been rather quiet and stuff, given that she's having to deal with all that, maybe having us see some ways in which she does express herself. Make things a little bit different. So yeah. Y'all, episode 3. Without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, be sure to check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, and then come back here for the discussion. Okay. All right, so this is, I would say, first half or first third or what have you of the training kind of stuff, mostly done now.
Yeah.
We're headed into the final selection next episode.
Right. Whether that's
cut the boulder.
Yep. And whether that final selection is going to be something that is just one last test, or whether it's something a bit more
Tournament arc.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows?
Who knows what it could be?
Yeah.
But we got a lot of good world building stuff here for the demons, and kind of how exactly they work, and the demon slayers and everything. And also a little bit for Nezuko of she's asleep.
She's in some kind of hibernation,
right?
Deep sleep where she's perfectly fine in terms of her physical, observable health.
But she's been asleep for 2 years now.
2 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something where, as a demon, she's determined that she's in a situation where she can't get human blood, right, or something. So she basically is going into hibernation until, to conserve energy or something.
Yeah,
right?
This could be Nezuko fighting off basically a demonic aspect.
Sure, like a mental battle that's ongoing, and when she wakes up, she'll be able to be a bit more in control of herself.
It's very convenient though, because now he's able to train without worrying about her.
Yes,
too much. He does worry about her,
but it's not in the same way of let's have you cooped up in a room for 2 years, because that wouldn't go well.
Exactly.
And if that does end up going something where she has that internal mental battle and whatnot, that could be good, because then we could actually get her to be able to take off the thing, right? And that might just be something that is part of her character design now.
Sure.
But one of the things that I would be very interested in seeing is exactly how she communicates and
sign language.
Yeah. We could just have sign language. Just go with silent voice with this, which I'd be all for. Or having a notepad or something, right?
Or it's just the ha 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 ha. And Tanjiro, as he does in the end little bits there, he totally understands what she's saying.
Sure.
Or he just asks her yes or no questions. She's like,
yeah.
I think they could do it for they could hold that way for a lot of comedy. I think that having her emote more.
Yes.
She is the emoto, I congratulate myself. Sabito and Makomo, new characters. Sabito voiced by Yuki Kaji. I mean, because who's not going to recognize Yuki Kaji? Right. They started off as being already a little mysterious of who are you? But then really mysterious, because their exit was
because the thing is, it's not even that he sliced Sabito's mask and then the cut went somehow through that and cut the boulder as well.
Yeah.
Right? Because then, like, well, they would need to explain how the cut did that.
The boulder wasn't there.
Right.
In terms of our perception of
the
things.
boulder wasn't there. And also, Sabito, it wasn't just that Sabito disappeared or didn't look like he was there anymore or whatever, turned invisible. He was not actually there.
Yep.
Because his sword was actually going through the boulder. So
my guess is that they could have this be a thing where there's illusions at play. I would say that is very much a this show is starting to build up in a way that feels very Bleach, like, you know.
Sure.
We have our core of people who are, you know, the ones that take care of the demons or what have you. And, you know, everyone uses special swords, and, you know, there's in the OP people, like, you know, channeling stuff out of their swords or what have you. And
also, like, okay, we've got a water kind of elemental dragon whatever thing here, but if they were all connected to water somehow, or at least some of them were connected to water, okay, because one of the things that they do for the motifs with whenever people disappear is mist, right? Like fog and all that stuff, which is water, which makes me think Aizen with a water-based illusion sword. So, you know,
okay. Here's a thought of where it's going to be a little bit different, because we had someone with a vector-based kind of arrow kind of ability as well in the OP. I think that this total concentration breathing thing is more or less the key towards the power system, because it's a simple, understandable, you know, mechanic.
Yep.
And it's, okay, you need to expand your lung capacity so you get more maximum mana.
Right.
Okay. As you swing a sword, you have to expend the breath at the moment that you swing the sword to enhance the strength of it. That is something that is literally real world like stuff there to enhance your
just taken to an extreme level.
Just taken to an extreme level.
Yeah.
But it also provides some interesting things where every time Urokodaki was trying to get his form right, and he didn't get it right because he wasn't tensing his stomach, he took his breath away.
Yeah.
He went, and then, you know, knocked the breath out of him. He's like, you know. So if that's basically the training, it's going to be a thing of, okay, why is that important? Well, it's probably because in some ways, you know, the way you manipulate your breath has something to do with your actual, like, powers, abilities, or what have you, because when he went and did the final cut here, they really focused on him doing this like long, deep, like 6-second inhale, and then held it, and then you know, so
and so they've firmly established the way in which they'll be able to fight at a superhuman level, right? But not yet the powers. So the question is that something that's going to happen? Like, that's a secret that's going to be taught after they pass the final selection, or, like, you know, is it like, because I think that's 100% what it's going to be. I think that the final selection is basically okay, now you've passed the hunter's exam, we're going to do some water divination, right? And,
like figure out like what you know, what type you are.
Or the final test is being able to unlock that other part of yourself.
Sure. And then maybe you forge a sword after that, you know, classic kind of shonen style.
If
and
they do it,
when you forge the sword, you like pour essence of your soul into it.
That would be so awesome. If they do a sword forging, like, I mean,
it could be like blood forging, where you're like actually like putting in like, because think about it, they literally tied breath into the blood.
Well,
maybe your cells, your individual, you know, parts that are infused with the oxygen you could generate from your lungs, which, you know.
And that would tie into the whole motif of blood being shared and whatnot with the demons and how they, you know, multiply.
Wait. Oh, shared from demons to the non-demons.
Right, it's just a parallel motif, I guess.
Right. Also, I'm trying to think of what way the sword is going to be fantastically different, not just a silver sword.
Yeah, as opposed,
it's probably not going to be silver.
Yeah, like, and I'm guessing it's probably not going to just be, okay, they forged it out of some super special material.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. AKA silver. Like, yeah, it's not going to be some kind of fancy fantasy material is what you're saying. Right. Yeah. It's got to be something where they, like, put some like runes into it. There's like a ritual or what have you. Like,
and with how he was training with the sword, I'm guessing that was also one of those special swords. No, maybe not.
I don't think so.
Maybe not. But the way they taught all the things about like make sure you don't break the blade, you know? Right? That seems to be relevant in the long run. Right? It wasn't just that don't break this training sword because this training sword's expensive or whatever.
No, he has a real sword, but did he?
Yeah. But that gives more credence to it being a non-material thing. It's not in the sword, it's in the sword wielder, right?
Yes.
So,
yes. Yeah, I think whatever swords they make in general aren't invincible, and the more accurate thing would be that because they're going to be fighting things that will be stronger than them, like often, if the demons hit their sword at the side, it doesn't matter whether or not it's a good real sword or a special real sword, you know, it could still break.
Right. I'm just saying that means it's probably not going to be this is a super special material.
Yes, I agree.
That's also still couldn't do that, but
that's also a really cool thing to bring up is that you know, the swords themselves being something that are basically the only points at which they can really, you know, fight the demons, means that we're probably going to see a lot less, like, I would say, shonen style of just I'm beaten within an inch of my life, you know, my sword, you know, is barely the only thing holding me back. It's going to be more like quick movements and stuff and barely dodging and then getting worn out from exhaustion from that whole thing.
And then you get hit once and you're toast.
Yeah, and you get hit once and they're toast, or you hit them once and they're completely done, you know, like you hit them. Really,
although they have a regeneration thing.
Unless they heal, yeah. I just look forward to fights that are ones where they don't play, because when you do a sword fight in anime, I think you can end up in the peak moment where you get Saber Lancer style stuff here, like you did with Sabito and Tanjiro here. And that stuff looks great, but I think it's always a little bit awkward sometimes in anime when a non-weapon wielder fights a weapon wielder and they try to make it look engaging and dynamic,
because it normally shouldn't work unless the weapon wielder doesn't really know what they're doing,
or they're just slower. They're just slower, so it's a thing of barely
because
dodging
super speed
it.
Always wins.
Right. Yeah. I don't like generally the I block my sword. I block your sword with my forearm. I block the sword with my finger and T. You know. And,
right. Usually, right. And the way they did it in this episode, even though they didn't show too much of the actual lead into the moves, but they did show the aftermath of the moves, which is you stop the arm, right? You stop one of the other things that is causing the sword to move without actually touching the sword itself, because you don't want to do that.
Yeah, and of course Ufotable is bearing just no expense on making even the most, like, non-high consequence fight, like, so far that we've seen, like, just look amazing.
And then the thing is,
like, just casually just having a Saber Lancer, like, kind of stuff going on there.
And this probably doesn't even have some ridiculously crazy budget either. No, Ufotable's just that good.
They're just that good. Yeah,
like, oh man.
And I gotta say it again. I've got to say it again. This is 2019, Jacob. Like, this is what we can expect from just high quality production in the modern day.
Oh yeah, 5 years after UBW. Like,
what do you think the final selection is?
It's either probably going to be some kind of tournament, or it's going to be them unlocking their inner powers.
Okay,
I'm guessing.
So the training that he got from Urokodaki, I think, is going to be representative in some ways of the structure in which they'll be trained.
Sure.
A little bit. So I don't think it's going to be Demon Slayers necessarily, like Demon Slayer trainees against other Demon Slayers, although that would be cool as a tournament arc. It would be cool to have it be we're in an environment, and the environment is the test.
Right. Because the main issue that I see with having any kind of tournament for the test is that tournaments usually mean that there's only one person that wins, or there's a very limited number of people that win.
And now this is a final selection, so there's a culling of sorts.
Right. But the idea that if it's something where, because from a meta perspective in the show, they're going to be introducing a lot of characters here. One, it doesn't really make sense to do a tournament when you haven't previously established who the other characters in the tournament are going to be, right? But two, since there are a bunch of other colorful designs that we've seen in the OP and the ED, I would expect that those characters would also become demon slayers, right? Or at least have the opportunity, like the true opportunity, since we know that if there's only one spot, then, I mean, I would guess that Tanjiro would probably, at least, you know, Tanjiro will come out of this be a demon slayer, right? Like I'm guessing.
Unless there's maybe some political, like, nastiness of, like, hey, your sister... right. Deception check, you know.
Right, but we don't have any establishment that will be an issue. So far we know it will be in general. But also
as long as she's, you know, correctly hidden and stuff like that.
Right. But I mean he's going to be a demon slayer. Like
yeah. The show is called Demon Slayer.
Right,
so,
exactly.
I mean,
So yeah, something that's more environmental that does seem to make a lot of sense. It could also, what if it was something where it was like, okay, this is one of the other things that is very important for demon slayers is teamwork. So we're going to have all of you work together to
gonna pair you up with another 2.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have to go on a demon slayer mission, right? And since you're teamed up, that's how it's like, okay, you know, if you've gotten this far, you should be okay, but we still need to make sure that you know, survive in the wild kind of thing.
Why do you think Sabito and Makomo were sent there? Or were just ended up there?
I think, well, okay, so they mentioned... I think it
was Gyu.
It might have been Gyu. They mentioned that they were very close to Urokodaki.
Yes, and they love
they love Urokodaki, and the fact that there are also a bunch of other kids who were watching Tanjiro. That was one of the things that I found rather interesting.
Wait, what other kids?
We don't know.
But who said that?
It was Makomo.
I think
it was Makomo.
When did she say that?
Early on when they're talking.
I must have missed that. Hold on. So, when Makomo gets introduced here, she says, "I'm leaving the rest to you."
Yeah, blah blah blah.
She says, "I'll be looking after you."
Right. Defects, blah, blah, blah. They didn't love each other very much. Raised them after they'd been orphaned. There are other children besides us. They're always watching you, Tanjiro.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's probably the other people that will be involved in the... Either in the final selection or people that have already gone through the training.
But there are other children besides us. Now... I want to go a little deep here.
Okay.
Choice of words here. There are other children besides us. Now, obviously, it's meaning besides, meaning other than. But she has this almost ethereal, kind of dreamy, wispy way of talking as if she's seeing something or experiencing something different than what they are. What if it's actually sort of there are other children beside us? They're always watching you, because then they would literally be there watching.
Well,
and the idea of there's so many other people that were orphaned, you know, or killed by demons and what have you. There are so many children out there whose hopes are on you, and it's less about physically watching you, and it's about, you know, if you're going to be such a great, you know, demon slayer, like maybe Gyu was saying in the end of the previous episode, they're there putting their hopes on you that you can, you know, get justice for their families.
Yeah.
And now,
if there's also illusion stuff going on, they could actually
they could literally
be watching
them. Yes, that's true. That's true. I do find it interesting that this is just dropped in there, and I have no idea, like what it means in the context of the rest of this. And he doesn't even get it. Makomo is a somewhat strange girl. She speaks in such an abstract, dreamy way. So he says it as like it's abstract. I'm looking at this and going, oh my god, does she have like souls of children following her and like has like this connection to the beyond? Jeez. Are we going to get into the spirit world stuff and all that?
Oh boy. Maybe.
Who
knows?
But thank you for bringing that up, because I completely like overlooked that line.
Because it was the kind of thing where Tanjiro didn't actually like ask any further questions about it, you know, because he kind of just accepted that all the stuff that she was saying was kind of weird, right? And he didn't get it. But there was something that was like, that's a very specific literal thing that seems to be being said, at least at the surface level. And
yeah. Also, she said, "Beat that guy, Tanjiro."
I get the feeling that was talking about the demon that turned his sister.
Oh.
Which is interesting, because that would mean that they would know why he's doing what he's doing, which, if they're super close to Urokodaki, maybe he told them, and maybe that's again why everyone's rooting for him, is because, yeah, if you can get to the point where you can turn your sister, that's something that's never happened before, right?
Oh.
So they see it as it's the impossible journey that he's taking up the torch that probably other people have done before, and it all ended in doom and failure.
What if she's able to see things outside of time? So the thing of there being other children watching is that she's thinking about all the hopes and dreams that will be put on this boy.
That would be crazy.
As he saves so many others over the course of time. Because he's a good boy. He's a good boy.
Yeah,
he's probably not going to be the edgy demon slayer.
Oh, right.
He's going to be the one that saves as many human lives as possible.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the sister is entirely for.
Yep.
So what if the kind of relieved look and the way they're just instantly gone, and the way this whole kind of situation changed, was that she and Sabito are just like, okay,
don't exist yet.
We don't.
Time.
Yeah, we don't have to be here anymore longer.
Well,
and then they're just no longer there.
Yeah, I mean, well, we have seen Urokodaki do the same thing, where he just disappears. Right now, granted, there was some illusion stuff going on here, but the whole stuff with them,
the fact that the boulders switched places essentially with Sabito,
that's some this
feels like a JoJo's puzzle. I'm just saying, it's all like, this is something so fantastical and so out of there. Like, how did this happen?
Because they're going to be introducing new rules. Essentially, this is the equivalent
the build up to the new rules,
the power ceiling, almost the whatever. Right? It's there's something more than just swordplay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I think in some ways could make or break this show. Actually,
I
am a little worried.
Yeah.
Because what we did here just now was build up so much of the physical, and what might end up happening is that, like, okay, let me go things out here really quick. If we're going to have a shonen that goes for a long period of time, you need to have enemies that have powers as well. Sure. That are equivalent and or stronger than the main characters. If the demon slayers are going to get these like kind of powers or what have you, then the demons are going to need powers.
Yeah.
And if the demons have powers, then a lot of the things that we might have assumed about demons also are rather wrong as well. Like if he gets some ability to summon water dragons and all that kinds of stuff from his sword. And we find out that it's not like necessarily like a Bleach thing where there's a soul in his sword or something like that. It's more of a thing of where it comes from his specific breathing,
Kokoro.
or his heart or what have you. Yeah. Well, what's the demons thing? Is it something that
we know that they can shapeshift and do other things?
But how? What is that?
Right. We'll have to see. Yeah.
Right. I am curious to see how that all ends up playing out in a way that makes sense. But,
yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited to see how this goes, though, and whatever happens, it is going to look stunning.
Yes, it's going to look stunning. That's definitely true. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this Demon Slayer reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access. So you can chat with us in the community there about the show, about the manga. You can talk with us about all kinds of other, story-related stuff or what have you, like Jacob's novel that he wrote.
That's right. I wrote a sci-fi novel, in case you hadn't heard. It's called Battle Lines. It's awesome, and it's available for purchase on Amazon in both hardcover and ebook. So whichever you prefer, link in the description. Go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.